Welcome to the Wordplay Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob. Lucas could not be here this week because of prior commitments, so I'm going solo once again. Let's begin with the game that happened on Thanksgiving, a game that absolutely delivered. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys winning the game 31-28. This game, the Nielsen ratings came out. They had 57.2 million people watch this game. Blew out the previous. That one went out the window. That was gone. I think the previous one had 47 or 48 million. This was 57.2. This was a great game. It delivered. Both offenses played well. Both quarterbacks played well. If I told you that Dak Prescott had 2 touchdowns and 1 interception, but Patrick Mahomes had 4 touchdowns, you would have said the Chiefs won big. But that's not what happened. Instead, we had a very exciting game. It wasn't even like the defenses were bad. It was very exciting. Mahomes had 2 touchdown passes to Rashid Rice. He had a touchdown pass to Travis Kelce and a late touchdown pass to Hollywood Brown. That kept them in the game. The Cowboys, Dak Prescott had a touchdown pass to CeeDee Lamb. Lamb had 7 catches for over 100 yards and a touchdown. Javonte Williams had a touchdown grab. Then you had some other contributors. Malik Davis, who was the backup running back for the Cowboys, had a 43-yard touchdown run, and essentially that put the game in a crazy position. It was very lopsided for the most part. The Cowboys' offense was just going down the field, and the Chiefs could not stop them consistently. It was like, I don't know how to describe what was going on. It was interesting because both sides were playing really well. Mahomes got sacked 3 times. Dak Prescott got sacked 0 times. That was essentially the difference of the game. The Chiefs scored first after the interception by Prescott that was intercepted by Watson. That was one of the 2 Rashid Rice touchdowns. Cowboys tied the game with a CeeDee Lamb touchdown. Then extend their lead by a field goal. Or I should say, to give them the lead. Chiefs go and they score a touchdown on it. It's 14-10. Cowboys go down the field, score a touchdown with the Malik Davis run, 17-14. That was your halftime score. Cowboys kick another field goal, 20-14. Rashid Rice scores another touchdown, 21-20. Cowboys go down the field, score a touchdown, pass to Javonte Williams, go for a 2-point conversion, get it, 28-21. Kick. It was essentially the deciding field goal, 31-21. Chiefs come back and score a touchdown, make it 31-28, and boom, there's your final score. This game was really exciting. Like I said, it delivered. It wasn't that both defenses were bad either. It was just a great performance by all teams involved. It's hard to play on a Sunday and then play on a Thursday and the game to be as good, if not better. That's what this game was. Both these teams, and they actually showed it in the beginning of the game, both these teams literally did not lead their previous game but won. They won on the final seconds of their previous game. They didn't leave the previous game at all, and they won. Like, that's crazy to think about. It was just a great performance, great all around. It just, the Cowboys won this game, and that was the decider. Cowboys move 6-5-1. Chiefs move to 6-6. With a really tough schedule at the end of the year, I feel. You got to play Houston, who is a really good defense. You play the Chargers one more time. You play the Raiders one more time. So that kind of eases it up a little bit. Denver on Christmas. We'll see what happens. Now let's go to the game that ended Thanksgiving weekend. The New York Giants versus the New England Patriots. Patriots winning the game 33-15. I'm not going to go through all the stuff the Giants did. We've already done that in the previous video, in yesterday's video. Go check it out. It's on the channel. I want to say something But let's first say this. I want to do a PSA. Someone clip this and send this to Jackson. Jackson, don't take these unnecessary hits. Please don't. Every week we see you play, you take an unnecessary hit for no reason. Relax. Protect yourself. Stop taking these big hits. You want a long career? Stop taking them. Prevent it as much as possible. He's gotten, every week there's a bad hit. Relax, play loose, but don't play reckless. That's all I have to say about that. Clip that and send that to him, please, because I'm watching this kid over and over and over again go on the field and he gets hit like he's a pinata over here. Relax. Protect yourself. It didn't matter who the quarterback was playing. If Jackson Dart played in this game, it didn't matter. It didn't matter if it was him, it didn't matter if it was Jameis Winston. It couldn't do anything really on offense. And that goes again to what the Patriots are. They are a good team. That's what everyone said. They might be a good team by year's end. They've been very impressive. And like I was trying to say, I said this for weeks and weeks and months on end. They don't need a number one wide receiver. There's no ego in this building. It doesn't matter if it's Kayshon Boutte, Stephon Diggs, Matt Collins, Hunter Henry, Austin Hooper, whomever the leading target getter is, or the leading receiver is, it doesn't matter. If they win the game, they win the game. That's the way this team looks at it. That's a positive team. That's a team you want. That's Mike Vrabel's image. That's what they are bringing, and that's a good thing. The Patriots at their highest peak, you didn't know who the number one wide receiver was. You didn't know. You would say, okay, yeah, we got to keep it out for Edelman. But then Amendola would go off. Chris Hogan would go off. Before it was Welker, you'd say, okay, keep an eye on Welker. And it would be Brandon LaFell, or it would be somebody else. It was just always something going on. Brandon Lloyd, whomever, didn't matter. Okay, we got to keep an eye on Gronk. But now Edelman's getting involved. Welker's getting involved. Everything was happening. It's just the way they played the game. And it was the reason they won so many Super Bowls. They had no ego in that building, and anyone could get the ball on any given route, in any given play. That was the important thing. That was a very important thing. So yeah, I was watching Colin Cowherd, and I don't watch him a lot, but I did watch. And he says that, they're a draft class away from this offense being really good. I don't know what he's watching. This is the Mike Vrabel offense. It's not going to be pretty. It's not. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be weird. It's going to be kind of strange. But they're going to win the game. You know it. You don't care who the leading receiver is. You know they're going to win the game. What I just brought up about how it doesn't matter who the leading target getter is, the leading receiver is, that you have the confidence they're going to win the game. You may not know who leads the team in receptions at the end of the year. You may not know who leads the team in touchdowns at the end of the year. But you will know they won games. That's the point. You will know they won games. They've been so good. They've been so good. Now they get their much needed bye week. It honestly could happen at a worse time for them because they were ahead of Denver, who's also played really well. I think the Patriots are better than Denver, but it just couldn't happen at a worse time for them. You don't want to wait. Just when you've been on a roll like this long, you don't want to buy one. Just that's the way it is. But the Patriots did what they needed to do. Beat up a bad team. They did it. Even though they said, they should have won by more. They won by 18, but it didn't feel like 18. It felt like 35. That's a Vrabel-led offense. They went right at it. They took the belts out and went right at it. And they won. Very simple. And they beat them down. That simple. Moving on to week 14, as we only have one game because the Patriots, like I said, are on bye week. We have the Dallas Cowboys versus the Detroit Lions on Thursday Night Football. Lions are favored by 3. In this game, there's a lot of injuries for both sides. The biggest injury for the Cowboys is Jadeveon Clowney. After he has a hamstring injury, worked with the rehab group, it doesn't look good that he's going to be able to go. They haven't ruled him out yet. We'll see what happens. But I would be pretty certain they'd be cautious with him. They've been cautious all year with injuries. Wouldn't be surprised if they're cautious again. For the Lions, it's a lot of other injuries. They have a lot of injuries. We mentioned on yesterday's show about Terrion Arnold, about how he was put on injured reserve and is going to miss 4 games. He's actually probably going to miss the whole season, as it's now slated he's going to have shoulder surgery next week. So that's going to end his season. That's a loss. A team that's just been so banged up in their secondary. And it's been so difficult. Amon-Ra St. Brown, ankle injury. He's been DNP'd the last couple of days. Doesn't look like he's going to play. Head coach Dan Campbell said he could miss up to 1 to 2 weeks. You got 10 days off. I could see that. It makes sense. Don't rush him back. You don't need to rush him back. If you want to make a push, I get it, but you can't rush him back. You just can't do it. But as a laundry list of injuries there that they have, Kirby Joseph was limited on Monday, did not practice on Tuesday. And that's a big issue. Tight end, we talked about Sam Laporta, how he's probably not going to play again this season. Brock Wright is banged up, their backup tight end. Their third string tight end is banged up. Their offensive line is banged. It's pretty much going to be Jameson Williams, Jared Goff, Gibbs and Montgomery, and then everyone else is going to be backups. But that's the way they play. In the secondary, it's the same thing. Outside of Brian Branch, it's backups all over the place. It's him and Amik Robinson. And everyone else is playing their tails off. And that's what you got to do. Next man up mentality. At what point does that become too much? Is what everyone has to ask. The last 3 games for the Lions, they've been shootouts. I know like the Eagles game didn't feel like a shootout, but it was. Even though the score doesn't reflect it. But in those games, the Lions have lost 2 or 3. They can put up points. Their defense just can't get enough stops. But what is the things that those teams are doing that make it so difficult for this Lions team? Number one, the Lions can't protect Jared Goff. He's getting hit a lot. So he's quickening up his clock in his head. That's not good. He's running. That's not his game. He's not a mobile quarterback. Not asking him to move. He's not a guy throwing it on the run. That's not his game. He wants to be the general from the pocket. That's what he wants. If he can't do that, that makes it harder. It's just not his game that he can't do that. I would expect them to run a lot more screens, especially with no St. Brown, especially with all the backups in. They're going to have to try to get things on the perimeter. I would expect a lot more trick plays, try to do something with that. It's going to be really interesting to see what their offense can do. More of a run game, more screens, trick plays, whatever they got to do to try to get the ball open. On defense, I don't know how they're going to stop George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. I just don't know how they're going to do it. It's just, how are you going to cover? Amik Robinson is one of the smaller guys. He's not a big guy. And he's big for an everyday human. But for a football player, he was a nickel corner they moved outside. He's not big. And now he's going to be asked to go against CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, who are pretty physical wide receivers. Even though he's a physical corner, they are going to try to play bump and run man coverage. Expect Rock and Sin and a couple other rotating corners to try to take the shot at George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. My biggest concern, this is always a concern of mine, and I don't want to ever use the field as an excuse, but I am here. When you play in Detroit, there's certain fields you play on that you're very concerned about. Detroit, MetLife in New Jersey, Buffalo you're concerned about a little bit, San Francisco, Miami, Tampa, those fields you're concerned about. Carolina you're a little concerned about. You're concerned about how those fields are going to hold up, how are they going to play on. The Lions field, that's what I'm always concerned about. When a team goes there, I'm like, ooh, that's not great. Because a lot of guys have gotten injured there. Bad injuries, because they can't get their foot out of the ground. So I'm sure that's what the Cowboys are preferencing, if I can speak. They're preferencing, don't try to do that. Just, if you can't get your foot out of the ground, don't try to pull it out. Just relax. Just don't move. We'll be right there. That's what you're trying to do. And that goes for both teams. It's not just the Cowboys, that's the Lions also. Here's the thing. If I'm the Cowboys defense, you have to get after Jared Goff. You have to. You have to get after Jared Goff. Your interior guys, Quinnen Williams, Kenny Clark, Oso Digizua, have to get after Jared Goff. They have to push the offensive lineman back into Goff so he has to move around and get him off his spot. That's what you got to do. I'm expecting more 5-man fronts. If you're banged up, that's what I would do. Stop this run game. Don't let him run the football, especially with Gibbs. It looks like they might get Trayvon Diggs back. It's 50-50, so we'll see what happens there. I'm curious on that front and how they play it. I know they have the rookie Savone Revel out there. They're going to try some stuff. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm trying everything on defense. Let's get after Jared Goff. Let's force him to have to throw the football from the pocket and take these shots. And if I'm the Cowboys offense, you know the Lions are going to blitz. You know they are. So their defensive line has been really good. You know they're going to blitz. You know it. You know it. You can smell it. You're aware of it. You're going to have to make plays against the blitz. Dak was very good against the blitz when it comes to Spagnuolo, and he was good on third down. He's going to have to do that again. He's going to have to do it again for the Cowboys to have a chance to win. For the Lions, you have to get after Dak Prescott. If you don't, he's going to sit back there and have all day and make the right decision pretty much every time. You can't do that. He's been really good under pressure. He's been really good when he's not under pressure. You cannot afford to have him not under pressure. You have to have him under siege as much as possible. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to take a page from the Spagnuolo playbook and blitz him and pressure him more than 48% of the time. I wouldn't be surprised. If I'm the Lions offense, you have to find a way to beat this Cowboys defense that has been really good at certain times of games. You cannot allow that to happen and give the ball back to this Cowboys offense. You can't do it. With all that being said, give me the Cowboys to win. I just trust them more defensively than I trust the Lions at this point. And because it's Pickens and Lamb against this secondary that's really banged up, give me the Cowboys to win in a strange game, 28-21. Let me know in the comments who you have winning this week. And if the game on Thanksgiving between the Chiefs and Cowboys surpass your expectations. For NFL World and the What to Play podcast, I'm Jacob Hebert. Out.